This Sunday, the WWE will present Stomping Grounds, an oddly named pay-per-view with some odd matches as well. Nevertheless, WrestleMania is always willing to take one for the team and look closely at the latest WWE pay-per-view. Join us now as we look at our Stomping Grounds predictions. Number 1. Universal Champion Seth Rollins vs Baron Corbin with a special guest referee. The rematch that no one demanded is here, as the WWE has suddenly given Baron Corbin the push he should have had back in 2017 until his backstage comments reportedly landed him in hot water, costing him a rumoured run with the WWE Championship. Whilst this matchup does benefit from the fact that both Corbin and Rollins have shown a chemistry in the ring, that's the match's only selling point. The problem is that Corbin's not seen as someone who's going to win the match, short of Seth Rollins being struck by lightning. Regrettably for Corbin, that's been the case for some time with his career, as he lacks a main event presence, and some would argue any presence at all. Last November, Forbes' Alfred Konuwa discussed why he saw in Corbin's go-away heat during Corbin's run as Raw General Manager. Corbin has been linked to an unfavourable pattern of apathy, also known as go-away heat, when advertised to compete in a final segment. WWE's now cliched reliance on heel authority figures seems to only further sabotage the general manager-elect. Baron Corbin's fledgling monarchy has been a focal point of Raw for months now. Unfortunately, in that very time frame, Raw viewership has left much to be desired. Nothing seems to have changed with how the fans see Corbin, so it's baffling why the WWE continues to push him against Rollins. A recent story indicates Corbin is advertised to face Rollins again, this time at July's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, which means our long national nightmare is far from over. The still unannounced special guest referee spot is what makes this slightly interesting, but the WWE is keeping the referee's identity a mystery thanks to Seth Rollins destroying anyone and everyone thinking of taking up Baron Corbin's officiating offer. This match is going to be very predictable, with Seth Rollins coming out with the win, but hopefully it might lead to something interesting afterwards. Number 2. Kofi Kingston vs Dolph Ziggler in a steel cage match for the WWE Championship. The rematch that no one demanded is here. Wait, didn't we just say that? Okay, as far as rematches goes, we'd take this one definitely over Seth Rollins vs Baron Corbin. But at least for a different pay-per-view we could have had a different scenario. But sadly, things have become so bad that they're reusing the same bad ideas on the same show or here the same pay-per-view. Much like Baron Corbin, Ziggler, although being a talented performer, has the stink of bad booking all over him, and while a cage stipulation should make for an interesting match, the winner like the Corbin-Rollins bout is a foregone conclusion. The WWE had to use Ziggler in Saudi Arabia, but using him again seems as if they're trying to show they didn't put him in the Super Showdown main event because no one else would work in Saudi Arabia. Unless the WWE does something radical like decide to push Ziggler as a main eventer, this match is something that should have aired on a WWE Network special or an episode of SmackDown Live. Our prediction: Kofi Kingston coming out the winner and retaining the WWE Championship. Number 3. Becky Lynch vs Lacey Evans for the Raw Women's Championship. Lacey Evans seems to have Vince McMahon's attention considering the strong push she's been receiving. Does Vince think the women's division is so thin on talent that he has to put a newcomer into a world title match, or is he just high on Evans as a competitor and he's shooting her to the top? There's been considerable speculation that McMahon is big on Evans due to her service as a Marine along with her speaking ability. As far back as February, there were whispers that Evans would receive a match against Asuka at WrestleMania 35, with Dave Meltzer stating, "There actually was talk of Asuka and Lacey Evans being the WrestleMania match, and it was definitely on the books at one point, but I was led to believe that it's being reconsidered. It's not 100%, it could happen, it was actually on the books, but the point is it's not 100% yes, and it's maybe more than likely no." As we know, Asuka got pushed aside when Charlotte Flair defeated her for the SmackDown Women's Championship in order to sweeten the triple threat match between Flair, Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. However, Evans' push doesn't seem to resonate with WWE fans, and she may find herself in a position where she's pushed too hard, too fast, resulting in fan backlash. The WWE should seriously consider this before even thinking putting a title around her waist. We see Lynch retaining, although we may see a rematch between the two in order to continue Evans' push. Number 4. Bayley vs Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley's career bounced back quite nicely after she and Sasha Banks dropped the Women's Tag Team Championship at WrestleMania 35. Considering Bayley's dismal singles run, few fans predicted she'd win the Money in the Bank ladder match this year, let alone cashing it the same night to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. Nonetheless, win them she did, and she seems to have quickly settled in as a singles star. A Bayley vs Bliss title match can't help but bring up the nightmarish memories of 2017's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, where Bliss destroyed Bayley in a kendo stick on a pole match, and the WWE's poor booking that nearly destroyed Bayley's career. This time, things seem different, and there are even rumours Bayley is in for a continued push as a single star. This should be a great match, and it's an opportunity for Bayley to prove she can excel as a single star on the main roster, just as she did during a successful time in NXT. While the WWE may be thinking of putting the belt on Alexa, despite her being a Raw superstar, there's reasons not to, well, besides killing Bayley's push of course. Considering Little Miss Bliss's recent rash of injuries including concussions, the WWE would be crazy to put the belt on her when she could be sidelined at any moment. There's no need to put the belt on her, and Bayley should get a chance to prove herself and give SmackDown Live's women roster a true main event babyface. So we see Bayley coming out as the winner and retaining the SmackDown Women's Championship. Number 5. Samoa Joe vs Ricochet for the United States Championship. Samoa Joe is an ideal US champion, but the WWE doesn't seem to have much faith in him as a champion, which is puzzling considering his proven in-ring abilities, exceptional mic skills, and potential to be a great champion. If booked correctly, Joe could elevate the US title with a long reign filled with high-quality matches. Unfortunately, the WWE gave Rey Mysterio the belt until the injury-prone superstar was forced to vacate the title, with Joe just being handed the belt back, which was never a good way to put someone over. A Ricochet vs Joe match should be a classic, but let's not see the WWE get ahead of itself and put the belt on him. With Rey reportedly scheduled to come back soon, the WWE will likely keep the belt on Joe just so that he can defend the title against Mysterio, and that is until Mysterio gets hurt again. Ricochet may become US champion in the future, but the WWE should give Joe time to build the title up, so we see him retaining. Number 6. Roman Reigns vs Drew McIntyre. The Roman Reigns vs Drew McIntyre feud has taken some twists and turns, with McIntyre providing some much needed muscle for Shane McMahon's various endeavours on both Raw and SmackDown Live. However, the endgame for this program remains murky, as it originally looked like the Scottish psychopath would face Seth Rollins at Stomping Grounds. Instead, we're stuck with the WrestleMania 35 rematch between McIntyre and Reigns, with no stipulation to make it any different from their previous encounter. This match is another example of WWE's poor planning, as they seem to have no ideas for either McIntyre or Reigns, so they're throwing them together again without giving reason for the fans to want to see it again. This match will be meaningless unless McIntyre gets a win over Reigns to position him as the number 1 contender for the Universal Championship. While we haven't heard about another match between Reigns and McIntyre, don't be surprised to see them square off at Extreme Rules to settle this program for good, but in this encounter, we hope Drew McIntyre gets the win. Number 7. The New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods vs Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This hastily thrown together match has the potential to be one of the best outings on the card. Owens and Zayn's tag team work speaks for itself, but the WWE hasn't given them much exposure as a tag team. The duo could have a long reign as SmackDown Tag Team Champions if the WWE wanted to elevate the title, particularly with the loss of the Usos to Raw and Jeff Hardy being injured. A New Day vs Owens and Zayn feud could be a hot program going into the summer. And while we have zero faith in the WWE, we're being foolishly optimistic that the WWE will promote more matches between these two tag teams. We're hoping Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out with the win though. Number 8. Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan vs Heavy Machinery for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Have you ever gone through your room looking for one thing only to discover other things you forgot you had? Likewise, the WWE seems to have been looking through their roster when they realized Heavy Machinery is still under contract, so why not put him in a match against SmackDown Tag Team Champions Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan? The WWE has given the two teams 2 weeks to build up to the match, so this one may be a pleasant surprise. Don't look for a surprise win by Heavy Machinery though, as Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan retain the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Number 9. Tony Nese vs Akira Tozawa vs Drew Gulak for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. This triple threat match should be one of the best matches on the card in terms of work rate, with all three men capable of putting on the proverbial wrestling clinic. This is a good chance for the WWE to remind fans that 205 Live features matches like this every week, but in all likelihood it's probably going to end up on the pre-show. This match can go to any man, but look for champion Tony Nese to squeeze out a win. And number 10, the Aftermath. There's also the likelihood that Brock Lesnar will cash in his Money in the Bank contract at Stomping Grounds, but the question remains who the Beast will target, WWE Champion Kofi Kingston or Universal Champion Seth Rollins. We're going for Seth Rollins, but a cash-in could be the only thing to make this pay-per-view interesting. What do you guys think of our predictions? Are you planning on even watching the show? And if so, which matches are you looking forward to the most? Be sure to leave your comments down below, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.